Let's talk about what actually happens when you're inside an ice bath. And in this video, we're gonna break it down by 10-second increments, so you know exactly what is happening and when it's happening. We're also gonna talk about when the risk versus reward starts to flip, so you know it's time to get out of your cold plunge. This video is sponsored by Ice Barrel, so if you do need a good cold plunge, make sure you check out the link down in the video description. But let's go ahead and jump right into it, starting at 0 to 10 seconds. And this, my friends, is the shock phase. This is when most cold plungers, for their very first time, decide cold plunging is not for them. But what actually happens the moment our skin touches cold water? Well, cold receptors in the skin fire off instantly. They're called TPRM8 receptors, and they're actually ion channels that respond to rapid drops in temperature. But the nervous system interprets cold as a threat, not a temperature. And this turns your sympathetic systems on. Sympathetic is your fight or flight. It's your body deciding, do we run from this or do we stay and fight? You'll typically experience rapid inhales or gasp reflex. Your heart rate will spike. Your breath rate will also spike. And this is where norepinephrine and adrenaline are released. And this is where blood vessels in the skin clamp down through vasoconstriction. Side note on norepinephrine. Norepinephrine is both a neurotransmitter and a hormone. Cold signals from TRPM8 receptors travel from the locus coeruleus in the brainstem, which assesses environmental threats. Cold equals threats, so norepinephrine is released system-wide. This is one of the fastest ways to raise norepinephrine without drugs. You're welcome. The benefits at this point are instant alertness. Dopamine begins to rise indirectly, and it's a nervous system wake-up call. The only real risk at this point is panic breathing if uncontrolled. And unfortunately, this is where people think cold plunging is dangerous. But it's really not the cold that's dangerous at this point. It's actually the uncontrolled breathing during the sympathetic activation. And unfortunately, a lot of people haven't really experienced sympathetic activation very much in their life, so this could be a big shock. So that was the shock response. Now let's talk about what happens between 10 and 20 seconds inside your ice bath. This is where control begins, or it needs to begin. And we're gonna call this window the breath control window. And this is where the brain is signaling danger, but through controlled breathing, you can actually trigger a different response. If you've ever taken a breathing class or a Wim Hof style class, they're gonna really talk a lot about breath work. And breath work is great, but this isn't a breath work video. However, if you do control your breathing will slow down, your vagus nerve will activate, your heart rate will start to stabilize, and oxygen delivery will increase. All of this is a good thing, and this only happens when you start to control your breath. However, if you cannot control your breathing and breathing stays rapid, there's some things that could happen that you're gonna wanna avoid. One of them being hyperventilation, and the other being your blood pressure can stay elevated. And this is why controlling your breath is so crucial in cold plunging. And quick side note, there's something called nervous system balance that tends to happen right here, and I wanna make sure you understand what that means. Slowing the breath increases parasympathetic tone while the sympathetic system is still active. This overlap's important. It trains the nervous system to regulate stress rather than eliminate it. And the benefit here is you're training control under stress, and you're training nervous system adaptability. This is where mental benefits start to improve through cold plunging. And the body starts to learn that stress does not automatically mean panic. Now we've made it through the 20-second mark and we've entered into 20 to 30 seconds, and this is the vascular shift. This is where blood has started to completely move away from the extremities and the skin to protect the vital organs inside your core. But what happens here? Well, the blood starts to move to the core, so your skin temperature actually starts to drop. This is where inflammation and the signals that cause inflammation start to be muted. And this is where swelling is reduced. So if you are a bodybuilder and you're somebody who is looking to increase muscle size, and you also like cold plunging like me, this is where I would stop my cold plunge post-workout. Quick side note here, I cold plunge after every training session, whether it's a run, whether it's hypertrophy, whether it's HIIT, I cold plunge after every workout. I live in Florida. While everybody's under snow right now, I'm staying outside in a t-shirt and shorts because it's beautiful. It's always hot in Florida. And I like getting in my cold plunge for a lot of reasons. One of the main reasons I get in isn't always to lower inflammation. So when I get done with my workouts, I'll typically stop my cold plunge at 30 seconds. And the only reason I do a 30-second cold plunge is for the shock, the breath control, and to let my body know it's okay. It helps with my nervous system. It helps remind my system that everything is okay, we can do hard things, and it also cools me down. That's why I do it. But if I was somebody who truly did not want to lose any inflammation signaling, have any reduced swelling, this is the timeline when you're going to want to get out. And quick side note on inflammation, norepinephrine suppresses pro-inflammatory cytokines such as TNF-alpha and IL-6. This is immune signaling, not just reduced blood flow. And the benefits of that are anti-inflammatory effects start to begin. People experience massive amounts of joint relief in this area, and muscle soreness is diminished. And at this point, risks remain very, very low. You may notice by this moment, we haven't even talked about temperature of cold plunging, and that's because if you're new here, my name is David Moss Jr. I have over 1,000 videos on YouTube going over all sorts of topics related to health and wellness, including cold plunging, sauna, temperature, time, all sorts of cool stuff. The reason I'm making this video is because I think people think cold plunging is an all or nothing game. They have to go in for 3+ minutes or it doesn't count. However, my goal here is to encourage you that, hey, a 10-second cold plunge still has some benefits. A 30-second cold plunge still has some benefits. I have seen how cold plunging has changed my life and so many of your lives through the testimonies and the stories, and I really appreciate you for sharing. So if you have a really cool testimony or story that you don't think I've heard, post it down in the comments below. Let me know why cold plunging is a part of your life. How has it changed your life, or has it changed people's lives around you and you just want to get a piece of it? But if you want more information on cold plunging, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, because there is more coming and there's a ton already there. So go check out my channel, and at the end of this video, I'll have a couple really cool supporting videos that'll pop up on the side of the screen. I'm sure you'll want to check one of those at the end of this one. But let's now move on from the 30-second threshold to the 30 to 40-second window. So now we're at the 30 to 40-second window, and this is the catecholamine surge. This is where chemical signaling intensifies. So I hope you didn't get out yet. What happens here is norepinephrine spikes sharply. Dopamine continues climbing. Cortisol rises slightly here, but it remains controlled as long as your breathing remains controlled. And quick side note on dopamine. Dopamine here is not pleasure-based. It supports motivation, focus, and goal-directed behavior, but cold plunging raises dopamine gradually through norepinephrine and hypothalamic signaling, which is why it does not crash afterwards. And the benefits being mood elevation, increased focus, and reduced pain perception. And this is why people report clarity and focus after a cold plunging session. But you have to make it to the 30 to 40-second window for this, in most cases. And now we're jumping to the 40 to 60-second window, and this is the neurological training ground. If your goal of cold plunging is neurological benefits, this is your spot. This is where cold receptors are going to continue firing, but the brain stops escalating the threat. Pain starts to decrease. It's reclassified from threat to sensation. Your parasympathetic tone starts to increase, meaning your body is shifting from fight or flight to rest and digest. And this is where endorphins are released. Side note on endorphins. Endorphins are endogenous opioids released in response to real physiological stress. Unlike artificial stimulation, they promote calm without sedation. And the benefits here are stress resilience, emotional regulation, which is why I need cold plunging, and a big one here, anxiety reduction. It's important to probably say this, I'm not a doctor, none of this is medical advice, but if you do your own research and if you clicked on this video, chances are you're looking for holistic ways to improve your lifestyle. I can tell you cold plunging has changed my life drastically, and so many others. So I'm gonna keep making content like this, so I hope you don't mind me sharing. And with that being said, this is one of the most powerful, beneficial windows for neurological benefits. So now we've made it through the first minute. I hope you got something out of that, but this is where the magic actually happens. Between 1 minute and 2 minutes, actually. We're gonna say 1 to 2. 1 to 2 minutes is where peak benefits happen. The average person is gonna experience a majority of the benefits between 1 and 2 minutes. And after 2 minutes, even into the 3-minute mark, the return starts to diminish a little bit. In this threshold, dopamine has reached its peak and it's sustained, and it will stay sustained for hours after your cold plunge. Inflammation signaling is lowered and even suppressed here altogether. Blood vessels remain constricted but stable. Nutrients and oxygen and blood is still being delivered throughout your body, but it's focused on keeping your vital organs warm. This is also where brown adipose tissue or brown fat is activated. So if your goal is metabolic flexibility and using cold plunging to help that, you want to get into this threshold. And side note on brown fat. Brown fat burns energy to generate heat using uncoupling proteins. This process improves insulin sensitivity and mitochondrial efficiency rather than storing calories. And the benefits here are long-lasting dopamine elevation, improved insulin sensitivity, metabolic activation, and reduced soreness. And for most people, all of the benefits have reached their peak by minute 2. But if you want to stay into that 3 minutes, let's talk about what happens from minute 2 to 3. By this point, the nervous system has already reached its adaptation. Diminishing returns are expected. This is where your core body temperature starts to drop slowly. This is also where muscle coordination starts to decrease. Some of the benefits here are maybe a slightly increased stress tolerance and even increased inflammation suppression. So if you're really sore, maybe go over the 2 minute mark. But for most people, it's not that necessary. And there's also a breaking point in between this 2 to 3 minute mark where there's some risks you need to be aware of. Probably the most common is loss of dexterity. Your fingers and toes just stop working. You got to watch out for blood pressure variability. I know it's hard to really capture that data while you're cold plunging, but if you have blood pressure issues and it's kind of common for you, don't stay in the cold plunge long, and maybe even check with your doctor before doing so. And probably the biggest risk for those people I just talked about is increasing the cardiac stress on your body. So if you don't have a healthy heart, this might be a very bad idea. And I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not saying you can, I'm not saying you can't. You just might want to back it up a little bit into this zone and not try to stay in as long as Joe Rogan. Side note on something I talked about earlier but kind of breezed over, let's talk about cortisol. Getting in a cold plunge produces a short cortisol pulse. Past this point, additional exposure does not improve adaptation and actually may increase recovery cost. Basically saying you are going to increase cortisol getting into a cold plunge because you are applying stress to your body. Past a certain point, you're going to have diminishing returns. The benefits we talked about have already happened, and you're just adding and applying more stress to your body, and you probably don't need it. This is where I'm going to ruffle some feathers. There's probably going to be some people watch these videos and say, dude's wrong. Stay in there as long as you can. And I know people who live in the super cold states and cold plunge in natural bodies of water or cold plunge in ice for 5 to 10 minutes. Hey, great job. Congrats. I can do it too. I just have found that the longer I stay in and the colder I go, I don't experience many benefits. So that's why I'm making videos like this for the normal people out there who don't have an ego. So now we're going to talk about what happens once we reach 3 minutes and onward, because this is where the risk outweighs the reward. Because here's what's happening. Your core body temperature just continues dropping. It can only keep you warm for so long. I think we've all seen the Titanic, right? That it's a thing that actually can happen, guys. So we have to be smart with this. Your nerve conduction can even slow down. Shivering increases metabolic demand. So I was always taught that once you start to shiver, get out. That's the point when you know, that is the end of the road. Once you start to shiver in a cold plunge, get out. And also at this point, dopamine no longer increases in meaningful amounts. Inflammation reduction plateaus, and your nervous system adaptation has peaked. So there's no point in staying in any longer, unless you want to film it and tell everybody how long you stayed in a cold plunge, which I've tried that. It's not that cool because the risks here increase. Hypothermia risk increases. Cardiac stress increases, and the fatigue when you get out of the cold plunge is going to outweigh any energy benefits that you would have got if you had just gotten out a little bit sooner. This window does not add longevity benefits to pretty much anybody. And my final thoughts here are 80 to 90% of the benefits of cold plunging happen between 60 and 120 seconds. So if you're staying in longer than 120 seconds, you aren't necessarily increasing benefits on some crazy scale. I would just suggest doing more cold plunging. Do it more often. Maybe instead of doing one long cold plunge a couple days a week, you do more shorter bouts. You do shorter durations. And I want you to remember this, cold is a controlled stress. It's not endurance. You don't need to get a trophy or a plaque for staying in for a long period of time. This is a controlled stress we're applying to the body. It is still a stress. You are still going to increase cortisol. There is still going to be some potential negative effects of the cold itself, especially when you reach the 3 minute mark and onward. So I wanted to make this video to educate all my friends that even getting in the cold plunge for just a mere 10 seconds, you are activating something your body has probably not felt in a very long time, the shock response. Between 10 and 20 seconds, that's where you control your breathing. 20 to 30 seconds, this is where you're gonna start feeling your fingers and toes get cold if you haven't already. But that is typically when you start feeling that. This is also when the inflammation signaling is going to drop. So if you're a bodybuilder, you should not cold plunge longer than 30 seconds on lifting days. Between 30 and 40 seconds, guys, this is the chemical cocktail that we're all looking for. Neurologically, this is what we want. We feel so good when we get out of the cold plunge after 40 seconds. Anytime before that, you're not really hitting all those benefits, so you wanna try to stay into that threshold if you can. And then between 40 and 60 seconds, guys, this is the neurological training ground. If you're dealing with stress, anxiety, and depression, and you're gonna use cold plunging as a potential outlet for it, this is your threshold. Get to the 60-second mark. And to all my friends watching, between 60 and 120 seconds is your baby, if you can do that. We're gonna have a whole nother video similar to this on temperature, on sauna and hot tub use, because I feel like we see the information people are sharing, saunas are great, and then you see a whole nother slew of information, saunas are bad. What? We saw it on cold plunging, we've seen it on sauna. Next up is hot tub, because you're starting to see all these new influencers talk about hot tubs and hot baths and all the benefits of them, but it's very gray. Let's talk about what actually happens so we can be equipped and empowered to make the best decisions for ourselves. And that is the goal of my channel here. Hey, I appreciate you so much for watching. Remember, if you don't have a cold plunge yet and you want to get a reliable cold plunge, Ice Barrel makes a great option. You've been seeing it throughout this video. I'll have a link and a discount code exclusive for you since you watched this video down in the video description. Discount code is MAUS, my last name, M-A-U-S. Feel free to use that, share it with your friends. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. If you can like and subscribe, that's great, but I'll see you over in the next video anyway. Have a great day, my friends, and God bless. And hey, speaking of next video, I'm gonna have a couple videos pop up on screen right here. I think you'll like them, so go ahead and check out one of them, because I'll see you there. Thanks, guys.